So sitting on the mat, nice and tall, lift those shoulders up. So feel instantly how much easier it is for everybody to sit. Look at you all, you're all sitting nice and straight. Rolling those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. So we just loosen, rolling those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Take those hands on those legs and just rub those thighs. Rub the inner thigh, rub the top, and rub the outside of your thighs. And then go over those kneecaps. Rub that thumb down the inside edge of that kneecap and rub those fingers on the outside edge. And you can push the inside edge down and you can let the kneecap come over the side of your leg a bit. You can give it a bit of a stretch. And then rub those hands down those legs, down those shins. Take that thumb down the inside next to the bone. Take those fingers down the outside of your leg. Reaching down towards those feet, soften those knees. Pull your tummy button onto your thighs. Put those hands around the base of the feet. Pull those armpits over the knees. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push the middle of those feet to get, make the middle of those feet parallel. Hold on to those feet and just use your thumbs and push on the big toes. Push the big toes around and pull the outside of your feet towards. So you're trying to get the top of the feet facing each other. And then turn that, put the thumb under the ball of the foot and pull the bottom of the feet so they face each other. So we stretch the rotation of those feet. And then push the thumb and turn those feet away from each other. So we're pronate and supinating those feet and then release them. Rub those thumbs down through the arch of the foot. Take those fingers up to the toes. Push those toes around. Just give them a bit of a massage. Squeeze them between your hands, rubbing over the top of them. And then put the thumbs on those big toes and push them away. And then on the second toe in, push them away. Third toe, fourth toe, little toe, push them. And then take hold of those big toes, the backs of the toes, and pull them towards. Pulling them towards you one toe at a time, all the way to those big toes. Pull them right down towards your shin. And then release your hands. Sit yourself up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Pop the fists on the floor, lift that chest up high. Breathing in. Pull those hands, walk the hands towards each other on the mat behind. And then push off those knuckles or those palms and lift that chest up high, pushing forward. So you're pushing your tummy button towards the thighs, pushing the chest to the ceiling. Take the chin up high. Breathing in, lift that chin up. Breathing out, pull that chin all the way down into the chest. Pulling that chin down, pushing those shoulder blades together. Turn the eyes to the left side of the left leg. Pushing that right ear away from that right shoulder. And then turn the eyes to the right side of the right leg. Pushing that left ear from that left shoulder. Bring those eyes back to the center. Pulling those shoulder blades together, lift that chest up. Bring those eyes up to horizontal. Bring those fingers forwards on the floor, pop them on the legs and roll them all the way down to those feet. Reaching all the way down to the feet. Pulling the tummy button down, soften the knees. Pull that tummy right onto those thighs. And then push that right leg down, push that left leg down. Push that right leg, push that left leg. Push both legs down to the floor. Pushing that head towards the toes, reaching and stretching. And then release those hands. Sit yourself up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Put the hands on the floor again. Behind you. Lift that chest up to the sky. Lift that chest all the way up to the sky. Take that chin up. Wiggle those hands as close as you can towards each other behind. Pulling the upper arms together, pulling that chin up. Pulling the tummy button forward, squeezing those shoulders together, and then release, pulling that chin down into the chest again. Really pulling that chin down, turning the eyes to the right side of that right leg. Pulling those shoulders away from the ears, lengthening, and then bring those eyes all the way through to the left side of the left leg. Pulling the ear away from the shoulder again, lengthening, and then bring those eyes to the center. Looking down your body, checking the breastbone, tummy button, pubic bone are in a vertical line. Take the eyes up and forward and check that you're looking straight up between those legs. Bring those eyes all the way up, release the hands again and roll them all the way down towards those feet. Soften the knees, take hold of the feet, pulling that tummy button onto the thigh, pushing that right knee down to the floor, pushing that left knee down to the floor, pushing both knees down to the floor. Releasing those hands and sit yourself up. Put the left hand on the right leg, right hand behind. Lift that breastbone up, turn yourself round to the right. Looking over that right shoulder, pulling that right shoulder back. And then release, come round to the front, put the right hand on the left knee, left behind, and pull that left shoulder back. Lift that left chest up, looking over the shoulder. And then come back round to the front. Bring those arms up to horizontal, breathing in, and on the out breath, lower one vertebra at a time, all the way down to the ground. All the way down, bring those arms all the way overhead. Reach those fingers away from the toes, push that right hand away from that right foot. Push that left hand away from that left foot. Push both hands away from both feet, reaching and stretching. So pushing those shoulders up to the ears, lengthening through the chest, lengthening through those ribs, lengthening through those armpits. Now slide those shoulders down the mat towards the waist, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Bring those hands all the way up into the sky, rotating. Bring those arms all the way down by the side. Breathing in, put the fingers under the thumb. Breathing out, push off those elbows, lift that chest up into the sky, stretch that back. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. Fill those lungs up with air. Lift those ribs up high, breathing out. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then release down onto the floor. Bring those arms up into the sky, chin into the chest. Roll yourself all the way up, hands on the legs, reaching all the way forwards. And then sit up nice and tall and grabbing that roller. Grabbing your roller. Bend your knees up so the feet are flat on the floor. Lay back on the roller, bottom ribs are resting on it. Take hold of the head in the hands, breathing in. On the out breath, let go of that back, stretch all the way over. Lift that head back up. Move the roller up a few centimeters. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stretching, putting the breastbone up. Head down. And then bringing that head back up. And move that roller a few more centimeters. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push that breastbone up. Let that head drop down. And then lifting that head up. Move that roller up again. Breathing in. Breathing out. Let that head rest on the back of the roller if you're there. And then just rock it from side to side a little bit. Take hold of the head in the hands. Just give it a little bit of traction. Push it a bit from with your thumbs on the base of the skull. Just pushing that head away. And then holding the head, lift the bum up. Rolling all the way down to the bottom of the ribs. And then all the way back up. All the way down. And then all the way back up. Leaning onto that left side all the way down. And then all the way back up. all the way down, and then all the way back up. Going over right onto the left, all the way down, all the way back up, go back onto the back of the left, and then right onto the back, letting that head fall back, stretching over the roller, stretching sideways, and then onto that left, that right hand side, all the way down, all the way up, and then right over onto that right side, down and up, and then back onto the back. Right onto the back. Good, stretching, lengthening, opening, and then rest with that roller in that bra strap area. Lengthen those legs out. Rest the head on the floor. Take those arms overhead and reach. Stretching from those fingers to the toes. Push that right hand away from the right foot. Push that left hand away from that left foot. Push both hands away from both feet. Feel the stretch through the fascia. Slide those fingers back in. Take hold of that head. Bend those knees up. Move that roller. But don't stay there too long. If you start to feel achy, you can move, rolling that roller down, rolling it up. And then bring that chin into the chest and lift yourself up. Put the bum on the floor and move the roller out of the way for a sec. Just put it to the side. Grab a tennis ball in. We're just going to have a go under those glutes. So pop that ball under that right buttock. And just rolling that ball. So I'm just starting with circles. Rolling circles through that buttock. Find those areas of tension. When you come to an area of tension, lift that knee up, lower that knee down. Lift that knee up, lower it down. Lifting up, lower down. Lifting up, lowering down. Keep that knee moving. Lifting up, lowering down. Straighten that leg out, bend it in. Straighten that leg out, bend it in. Straighten that leg out. Rest the leg, move the ball again. Find the areas of tension. So on the outside of the butt, it seems to work better if you lift the knee up and lower it. When you have knots on the inside more, you can try a bit of both. And then roll that ball again. And then move that ball over to the other side. So rolling it in circles. Rolling circles. And then finding the areas of tension. Take that leg back and forth. Oh, there's a good one. Slightly on the outside of my bum. Lifting that knee, just moving that leg around. Loosens off the tension. Demands the muscle for oxygen. The ball is trapping the muscle for moving. So then when you release, it brings blood flow. It's breaking down the scar tissue, and then move that ball again. And then hop off it. And then bring that roller in. Bring that roller in. Have it across the mat, and we're just going to sit on it. We're just going to roll, just massage through those glutes. Having done that ball, just kind of iron out any lumps and bumps. And then roll over onto the other glute. Again, iron out lumps and bumps on that side. And then do the whole length of the back of those hamstrings. We'll change the order up a bit. Turn those toes towards each other. And then turn those toes up to the sky. And then turn those toes outward a bit. And then we're going to rest the bum down. Come onto your elbow and bring that roller into that hip. So just sort of on the back of the top of the bum. And then on the side of that hip. So going through that hip joint. And then we're going to roll the whole length down to the bottom, down to the knee, and then up to the hip. Down to the top of that knee, up into that hip. Down to the top of the knee. So I just kind of turn on the roller a bit as well. So that I do a bit of a sort of long circle, oblong, through these muscles on the side of my leg, keeping the body moving on the roller. Make sure you go over into the hip as well. So we're doing the length rather than sometimes we do it in bits. Crawl up and down and then roll over onto your tummy. So go through the front of that hip, down to the top of the knee. And use your hands, move yourself up and down on the roller. All the way to the hip, and then transfer onto the other leg. So make sure you go over into the hip. It's uncomfortable over the pubic bone. So wait till you get onto the other leg. And go all the way up through the front of that hip as well. Through those hip flexors. And then going over onto the side of the front. So get up into that hip again as well. So you can stop and just do little ones over the hip flexor if you want. And then down through the side there. And then the whole length. Whole length to the side. And then rolling gently over onto the back of that leg, through the bum, and then back onto the back. Good. Spin the roller down to the calves. Just have a quick go on them. They might be a bit tight from yesterday. So I've got my toes apart. Bring those knees up and down. Bringing those toes over the top and towards each other. I can go on just one leg. And then go all the way around onto the front edge of it. And then on the other leg. And then rest down. Okay. So keep the roller onto your knees. Pop those feet up at the end of the mat. Keep those knees bent. We're going to do that sacroiliac joint. So lie yourself down. Take the roller up towards your bum and hold on to it with your fingertips. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. So just finding neutral spine to start with. Push the back of the head into the floor. Push the back of those arms into the floor. Turn those palms up, pushing those upper arms into the ground, lifting that back off the ground. Finding the shoulders blades place on the floor. Release that back, let the spine come down, keeping those shoulders there. Pull those ribs onto the floor, top ribs, middle ribs, bottom ribs, without letting the shoulders slip out to the side. Tilt the pelvis. Drop the tailbone down to the ground. Flatten the lower back by tilting the pelvis and lifting the tailbone up. tilt and drop the tailbone down. Rotate and put the top of the pelvis on the floor. So we're arching the back through pelvic tilts. The ribs are staying still. Lengthen through the front of those ribs. Keep tilting that pelvis. Arching, flattening. Arching, flattening. Or tailbone drives down. Tailbone lifts up. Tailbone drives down. So these are just different ways of explaining the same thing. Moving that pelvis, getting blood flow through that middle. Now bring the feet closer to the roller, flatten the back into the floor, push through those heels and continue to lift all the way up in the bridge. Lower that back one vertebra at a time. So as you come down, lengthen the shoulders away from the chin. Arch the back at the bottom through rotating that pelvis. Flatten that back, push that pubic bone up into the sky, lift. Now bring that roller in underneath your hip. Rest your bum on the roller. First thing is we have to find a neutral spine and create stability. So pull those shoulders into the floor, pull that tummy button down or towards the roller, so we're protecting that lower back. Let go of the tummy button and feel how that body stretches and the back arches. Draw in the tummy and pull the lower back towards the roller and feel how you come into neutral. Push the head away from the shoulders, push the shoulders away from the tailbone. Knees are bent, feet flat. Rest your hands on your hip. Drop that right knee down to the side. Lift that right knee up. Drop that right knee down. Lift that right knee up. Drop that right knee down. Lift that right knee up. Drop the right knee down, hold it there. Glide that hip into the roller and release. Glide the hip into the roller and release. Glide the hip into the roller and release. Glide the hip into the roller. Release, bring that knee back up. Drop that left knee out to the side. Bring that left knee up. Drop that left knee out. Bring it back up. Drop the left knee out. Now drive the hip into the roller and release. Drive the hip into the roller and release. Drive the hip into the roller and release. Bring that knee back up. Drop the right knee down. Drive it into the roller. Release. Bring the right knee up. Drop the left knee down. Drive the hip into the roller. Release. Bring it back up. Drop the right knee. Drive that pelvis into the roller. Release. Bring the knee up. Drop the left knee. Drive that hip into the roller. Release. Bring it back up. Holding on to the roller, bring that right knee up over the chest, foot off the floor. Bring that left knee up over the chest, foot off the floor. Take those feet up into the sky. Bring those feet over your head. Push those knees up to straight. Push off the roller and bring it in closer to up towards your shoulders. Lengthen the head away from the neck. Push the tailbone away from the top of the head. Point those toes, push off that roller, bring it further up. So you're lifting your tailbone, your bum higher off the ground. Push those knees away from you so they're straightening. Pull those toes down towards, pointing them. Flex the feet. Gently point the toes. Pointing is easy. Gently flex those feet and pull into a calf stretch. Point those toes. Flex those feet. Point those toes. Flex those feet. Point those toes. Circles with those feet one way. Circles with those feet the other way. Flex them. Bend those knees. Take up the hands off the roller if you can. Take hold of those legs, the calves, the feet, and just pull them down towards the floor. So you're stretching that lower back, stretching through those hamstrings, push those knees away. Pull the toes to the nose. And then release. Rest on the roller. Take those hands back to the roller, bend those knees. Draw that core in. Actually jump the roller down towards the hip a little bit. Draw that core in. Taking the feet over the bum. Keep protecting that lower back. And then lower those feet all the way down to the ground. All the way down to the ground. Holding yourself here. Pull that core in, keep that neutral spine. Extend that right leg out straight. Feel the stretch through this right hip. Bring that right leg back in. Extend that left leg out straight. Feel the stretch all the way through that left hip. Pull that tummy down towards the roller and get the stretch in this hip flexor. Bring that left leg back in. Now take both legs out straight. Keep that core strong so we keep that tummy button engaged. Sorry, that tummy engaged, and we keep that lower back protected. Push those heels away, straightening them. Letting those hold on to the roller. Really lifting that pubic bone to the sky. Really pushing those heels into the ground, keeping those knees straight. Feel the stretch here in that the front of that leg. Draw in that, bring that right foot back in and put it on the ground. Bring the left foot back in, put it on the ground. Push through the heels, lift the bum off the roller. So we're stretching into those hip flexors like the stretch we just had with the legs straight. Feel it in the glutes, rest the bum back down on the roller, slide those feet away, lengthening. If you feel this in your lower back, you need to push your, so I've got my elbows against the side of the roller, I'm pushing my head away from the roller. I'm drawing my core in and pulling my lower back into the roller, so I'm protecting it. So that any pain there, if you let go of your tummy and let your stomach go to the sky, you'll feel an ache and a pain in that lower back from compression. Tighten the tummy, bring the pubic bone up to the sky, bring the lower back into the roller, and you get rid of that pain. Push those heels down into the floor, push those knees straight, feel the stretch through these hip flexors. You can feel the bend at this pubic bone of the legs going away, the pubic bone, the pelvis being in line with the spine. Holding onto the roller, bring that right leg back in, put it flat on the floor. Bring that left leg in, put it flat on the floor. So we've now bent at that hip joint. We're now going to flex it, or we're going to, extend it again. So push on those heels, keeping the knees bent. We're going to come up into the bridge, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing in on the out breath, push through the heels, lift those hips. So we're trying to invert them, like that feeling we had over the roller. Slide that roller out of the way. Feel those bum muscles are strong. Lift that left heel up off the ground and lower. Push through the left leg, lift that right heel up off the ground and lower. Push that right heel in, lift that left leg up off the ground and lower. Push the left heel in, lift the right heel up off the ground and lower. So we're keeping those hips extended, flex the other way, lower that back to the floor. So we're extending the hip joint by doing that action, but we're bending it, inverting it. Now lengthen those legs out straight on the ground. Take those arms all the way over the head, reach and stretch. Bring those fingers all the way up to the sky, reaching all the way up, rolling all the way forward towards those feet. Bringing yourself all the way up again, roll yourself all the way down to the floor again. Bring that left knee into the shoulder, stretching through that groin. Bring that left leg over the body, stretching, pulling that left knee to the floor, pushing that left hand away. Taking that left shoulder down, pushing the left shoulder after the hand. Pushing that left hip after that knee, turning through that body. Breastbone up to the sky, tummy button turning away from the breastbone. And then release, take that leg out straight, take those arms overhead, reach and stretch. Bring that right leg in, hug it into the chest. Drawing it in nice and strong, stretching that groin, pushing that left leg straight, knee down to the floor. Right knee up to the shoulder, bring that right leg over the body, push that right hand away, push that left leg straight. Follow the right hip after that right knee, follow that right shoulder after that right hand, turning through that body, breastbone up to the sky. Tummy button coming away from the floor. Right knee coming down to the floor, tummy button pulling away from that breastbone. And then release back onto the back. Put that leg out straight, put those arms overhead. Reach and stretch. Bring those hands all the way up to the sky. Chin into the chest and roll yourself all the way up. All the way down to those feet, reaching forward. Hold on to the base of those feet. Stretching. Sit yourself up nice and tall. Lift that head up to the sky. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Swing those legs around and come up onto all fours. Coming up onto all fours. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Turn the inside of the elbows forward, turn that tailbone down, push that back up, eyes to the knees. Turn that tailbone up, bring that belly down, eyes come up to the sky. Turn that tailbone down, push that back up, eyes to the knees. Turn that belly down, lift that tailbone up, eyes come up to the sky. Glide that body backwards, taking the bum over towards those heels. Pull those knees apart in that cloud, lift yourself back up. Glide that body back, keeping the tension of the knees pulling away from each other. Lift that body back up, hold yourself here. Slide those hands forward on the floor, stretch through that chest. I'm just going to glimpse into this, not going to spend very long here. Push those forearms into the floor, breathing in. On the out breath, push those arms away, stretching through that chest. Stretching and lengthening through that chest. Pushing those arms into the floor. Lifting yourself back up to all fours. Turn that tailbone down, push that back up. Come into neutral. Turn those toes over, so it's 10 toes down in neutral spine. Lift those knees up off the floor, come up into down dog. So feet are a few centimeters apart. Heels are a bit further. Soft knees, pushing off those hands. Soft knees, pushing off those hands. Bringing that tummy onto the thighs, bringing the armpits towards those feet. Breathing in. On the out breath, push that right knee back. Keeping that right knee pointing to the right hand and release. Push that left knee back. Keeping that left knee pointing at that left hand and release. Push both knees back. Heels come down. Having each knee pointing at the respective hand. Pushing those armpits down, holding yourself strong. Rest on that right leg, bring that left leg straight up into the air. Bend that left knee, drop that foot down behind you, lift the knee up, stretch through the side. Try looking under the left armpit, stretching through that side. Swing that left leg through between those hands. Lengthen that right leg out straight. Push that right heel away from you, push that head away from the heel. Lengthen. Feel the stretch in the groin. Now drop that back knee to the floor and intensify the stretch through that groin. So this should feel the same as it felt when you were lying on your back on the roller. Straightening your legs with your pubic bone up. So we're bending at the pubic bone. Holding yourself here. Push off that left foot, come up onto the knee and the foot. Lengthen this body up to the sky, pubic bone forward. Look down at your body, you shouldn't see breastbone or tummy button, you should see pubic bone, so make sure you're straight. Drawing those tummy muscles in, rolling those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Pull this back knee forward on the floor without moving it. Breathe in on the out breath. Release the pull, take that right arm in the sky, push that hand up and let the side slide out to the left, to the right. Push your body to the right as you push your arm up into the sky, let it go over to the left slightly. Push that hip forward, pubic bone forward, feel the stretch all through that side. Release that hand, bring those hands either side of that front leg. Glide the body back and straighten that front leg. If you can't have your hands on the floor, put them on your knee or put them on a block. Flatten the back toes over. Pull the toes to your nose of the front leg, point the toes away. Pull the toes up, point the toes away. Keeping a neutral spine, push the chest forward, pull those toes up. Walk the hands around to the right, drop the bum over to the left. Walk those hands over to the left, drop the bum to the right. Bring those hands back either side of this foot. Flatten the sole of that foot on the floor. Bend that knee, push the groin down, lift that chest up. Lift that chest up. Walk this foot over to the right hand. Drop that left knee down to the floor to that left hand. Hold on to the side of this foot. Lengthen that back leg away. Roll yourself down to flat. Lay over this front leg, breathing in. Breathing out. Release. Walk these hands back to this front leg. One hand on the knee, one hand on the foot. Lift that body up. Push those knees into the floor. Take those hands away. Take hold of the hands behind the back. Reach and stretch. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release those hands. Put those hands on the floor. Slide them all the way forwards. And release. Breathing in. Breathing out. Walk these hands back either side of this front foot. Turn this back toe over. Lift that back knee off the floor. Lift that bum all the way back up into the air. Back into down dog. Feet are a few centimeters apart. Heels are further. Hands are on the floor. Hands are on the ground there. Pushing the tummy button down towards those thighs. Knees are slightly bent. Push that left knee back. Push that right knee back. Push those heels down to the floor. Go up onto those toes. Drop those heels down. Take the weight onto that left leg. Bring that right leg up behind you. Bend that right knee. Drop that right foot behind. Lift that right knee up. Look under that right armpit. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bring that right leg forward and bring it between those hands. Slide that left leg back. Drop that left knee to the floor. Keep the toes, sole of the foot down. Pushing that chest forward. Pushing that knee in, drop that knee down to the floor. Pushing that groin down towards that front foot. Breathing in. Breathing out. Put that right hand on the right knee, lift yourself up. Visualize you're pulling the back knee forward, tensing the front of that back leg. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back, look down that chest, check you can see the pubic bone. So breastbone, tummy button, pubic bone aligned, lift those shoulders. Bring that left arm up into the sky, breathing in. On the out breath, push that left arm up high, let the side slide out to the left. Push that left hand over towards the right, push the side over towards the left, stretching through that hip, pushing that pubic bone forward, feel that stretch. Breathing in, breathing out. Release that hand. Bring that hand down to the floor, one hand either side of this front foot. Turn that back knee over, glide the body back, straighten this front leg. Taking the chest down towards the thigh, have that toe pointed. Flex that foot. Point that toe. Flex that foot. Point that toe. Bring those hands round to the left side of the body. Swing the bum out to the right. Bring those hands over that leg to the right side. Swing that bum to the left. Bring those hands either side of this front foot. Glide that body forwards again. Stretching through the groin, lift that chest up, breathing in. And on the out breath, walk that right leg across to the left hand. Drop that right knee to the floor. Hold on to that right foot. Lengthen that left leg away. Lower the body over the front of this leg. Breathing in. Breathing out. Walk those hands back to this front foot. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Lengthen that back leg. Lift that chest up. Push those knees into the floor. Take the hands away. Push those hands away behind. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push those hands. Lift that chest. Stretch through the front of that hip. Drawing that core and pulling the pubic bone forward towards that front leg. Release those hands. Put them on the far in front and slide them forwards. Breathing in. Breathing out. Walk those hands back. One hand either side of this front foot. Turn the back toe over. Lift that back knee up off the floor. Push that body back up into down dog. Balls of the feet are a few centimeters apart. Soften those knees. Push off the balls of those hands. Make sure they're even. Middle fingers are parallel. And then push that right knee back, heel to the floor. Push that left knee back, heel to the floor. Push both knees back, both heels to the floor. Knees are pointing to the respective hands. Tummy button to the thighs, armpits to the toes. And then release and lower those knees down to the ground. Come sideways onto the mat. Slide those knees apart. Come down onto those elbows. Push those knees together as if you're trying to pop yourself back up. Tensing the inner thigh, lengthening the head away from the tailbone. Rock that body forward, rock that body back. Rock that body forward, rock that body back. Rocking forward, rocking back. Let those knees slide apart further. Rocking forward and back again. Push those knees into the floor. Breathing in. And on the out breath, let them stretch a bit further. Come up onto your hands. Stretching through those hips. Bring those knees back together. And come around onto your mat again. Coming straight onto your mat. Knees are to hip distance apart. Hands are under the shoulders. Roll the inside of the elbow forward. Lengthen that body. Take that right leg straight out behind. Bring that knee to the elbow and out. In, out, in, out. Bring it back on next to the other leg. Take the weight on the right side. Take the left leg out. Knee to the elbow and out. In, out, in, out. Rest it down. Take the right leg out. Bring the right leg back, put it down. Take the left leg out. Bring it back in, put it down. Keep those, right leg goes out, keep the hips still. Bring it back in, left leg out, keep the hips still. Bring it back in. This is walking, weights there, right leg out. Bring that right leg in, you're gonna weight there, pull the knee outwards on the mat, take that other leg out, keep the pelvis still. Bring that left leg in, weight bear onto it, pull the knees apart on the mat, take the right leg out, no moving of the pelvis. Bring that right leg back in, pull the knees away from each other, take that left leg out. Good. So as you transfer weight, you've got to pull those knees apart from each other. Push back up with that right leg. Bring that leg back down. Keep both knees on the mat here. Now pull them away from each other as if you're trying to turn the thighs outwards. Holding them there, transfer the weight onto the right leg. So push the right knee into the floor, keeping that knee pulling out. Take that left leg out straight. Keep that right leg pulling out. Bring that left leg back in. Pull the left leg away from the right leg. Weight there. Push that right leg out. This is what you'd have to do when you walk. Bring that right leg in. Pull those knees apart from each other. Push that left leg out. The pelvis stays still. The core is strong. Bring that left leg in. Pulling the knees away from each other. Transfer. Push that right leg out. Okay, let's just lift that leg to the sky for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing that knee underneath. Pull the leg out to the side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put it down next to the other one. Pull those knees away from each other on the mat. Transfer onto the right leg. Left leg goes out straight. Lift it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee. Take the leg out to the side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put those knees together on the floor. Pull the knees apart on the ground. Release. Apart on the ground. Release. Apart on the ground. Release. Pull them apart. Hold them. Lengthen the head from the tailbone. Draw in that core. Pull those shoulders back by turning the inside of the elbows forward. Feel the tension through the body. Hold yourself. Glide that body backwards, keeping all that tension. Elbows turned, knees pulling apart. Bring that body back up, keeping the tension in the glutes and in the shoulders. Glide the body back. This is squatting down. Lift that body up, holding on that right side. So 3-point hold. We've got 2 hands and the right knee. Take that left knee out, keeping the tension through the rest of the limbs. Bring that leg back in. Pull those legs apart. Create the tension. Turn the inside of the elbows forward, gliding back for 1. Come up. 3 points. The 2 hands and the left knee. Take the right leg out behind again. Bring that leg back in. Pulling those knees apart, pulling those elbows, turning the elbows forward. Turn the tailbone down, bring that back up, eyes to the knees. Turn the tailbone up, bring the eyes up to the sky. Come into neutral. Walk those knees forward on the mat and sit yourself down. You should feel it in your glutes from that little episode. Feet are parallel. Hold behind those knees. Pull yourself forward and lift yourself up. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, round. Put those hands on the floor. Clench the, tighten the thighs and pull the knees down. Pull the toes to your nose, breathing in. On the out breath, clench the bum, just lift. So this is bridging. This is bridging, this is walking, this is leg and hip extension. Lowering yourself down. Lifting yourself forward off those hands. Use those heels. Bring those hands all the way forward and up into the sky. Bring them all the way around. Bring them down to the ground. Bring them all the way up in the sky. Hold them there. Breathing in. On the out breath, push those hands up high. Release those arms out wide. Rest them on your legs. And roll your shoulders. Well done. So a few different